Have you ever noticed how some women remain unforgettable to a man long after she's gone? There's a mystery within her essence that touches something ancient in his soul. It's not about beauty, status, or perfection. It's about presence. The kind of presence that feels like poetry read under moonlight. Soft, elusive, and unforgettable in ways that words can't describe. Feminine mystery doesn't mean being distant or cold. It means being full of depth, emotion, silence, and story. It means you let yourself be known only by those who deserve. Carl Jung believed that the unconscious mind drives much of our longing. When a woman touches a man's unconscious, she becomes more than a person. She becomes a symbol, a mirror. She reflects to him not who he is, but who he might become. That potential haunts him. The chase is not for her body, but for the transformation she stirs inside him. Mystery isn't hiding who you are. It's revealing who you are slowly, with sacred rhythm. It's knowing that your soul isn't meant to be consumed in one sitting, or one night. When a woman rushes to explain herself, to be understood, she loses the magnetism of mystery. But when she trusts her inner rhythm, she invites curiosity, the seed of all attraction. Men are not obsessed with what is obvious. They are drawn to what unfolds. The unfolding feminine, like a flower opening in slow motion, captures more than eyes. It captures souls. True feminine energy doesn't seek to be chased. But its richness, its contrast, its emotional aliveness, make a man feel something he doesn't feel in the outside world. He feels awakened, not because she gives him something, but because she makes him remember something. A part of himself long buried, long denied, now stirred awake by her essence. Mystery begins where familiarity ends. A woman who reveals everything too soon becomes known, and what's known too quickly becomes ordinary. Mystery makes space for imagination, and imagination fuels desire. To be mysterious is to live in layers, not contradictions, but emotional dimensions. Like being joyful and pained in the same breath. A woman of layers keeps him wondering, reaching. When you speak, don't fill every silence. Let pauses linger. Let glances carry more meaning than monologues. Let your energy say what your words don't. That's the language of the mysterious. Let your eyes tell stories your mouth never speaks. Let your laughter hide secrets. Let your silence be full, not empty. These moments of depth keep a man coming back for more. A man may forget the details of your conversations, but he will never forget how you made him feel, especially if you touched something no one else dared to reach. A mysterious woman isn't emotionally unavailable. She is emotionally intentional. She chooses when and with whom to share her world, and that choice makes her energy rare and unforgettable. Don't chase being mysterious. Chase being whole. When you know yourself deeply, you won't need to explain yourself to be understood. You'll radiate energy that speaks without effort, without strategy. Wholeness creates gravity, and gravity pulls. The more you know who you are, the less you need to make others understand. Your presence does the work. Your silence seals the memory. Jung said that wholeness is the goal of the self. The woman who is whole is both shadow and light. She embraces contradiction and complexity. She becomes a mirror of inner truth. When a man encounters a whole woman, he feels the urge to grow. He wants to rise to meet her, not because she demands it, but because her energy inspires even. You don't need to explain your value. Embody it. Be the woman who walks into a room and shifts the air, not by being loud, but by being grounded and present. True mystery doesn't create confusion. It creates reverence. Reverence makes a man slow down. He stops seeing you as a category and starts feeling you as a force. Be the kind of woman he remembers in silence, in the still moments, in songs, in old places, not because of what you said, but because of what you made him feel. Let your mystery be kind, not manipulative, soft, not submissive, powerful, not performative. Men don't chase illusions forever, but they do chase truth that isn't handed over too quickly. Don't make yourself harder to reach to increase value. Make yourself truer to reach. Let your inner world be so rich that only those with depth can enter, and even fewer stay. Emotional contrast is part of mystery. Let yourself be unpredictable. Not for attention, but because you are alive. Life doesn't move in straight lines. Neither should your soul. Be laughter in one moment, silence in another. Be chaos and calm, intuition and intellect. That fluidity is what makes you real. That realness is what men crave beneath their ego. The feminine mystery is ancient. It doesn't belong to trends or games. It belongs to a lineage of women who walked this earth like poetry, untouched by urgency. When you live from that place, you stop fearing whether you're enough. You know you are not just enough. You are a world that invites but never begs. Men don't fall in love with perfection. They fall for the unpredictable, emotional, spiritually alive woman who isn't afraid of her own depth and doesn't offer it cheaply. That's the woman they chase forever, not because she hides, but because she holds herself like a sacred book, opened only by those willing to read slowly, soulfully, and with care. Let your voice tremble when needed. Let your tears fall without shame. Let your joy burst unfiltered. Authenticity is the ultimate mystery, because so few dare to live in it. Jung believed that the psyche thrives in paradox. A woman who holds opposites, strength and softness, openness and reserve, brings life to a man's unconscious. She becomes his awakening. You don't have to be perfect to be powerful. You only have to be real. In your realness lies a force that no strategy or surface charm can imitate. Let your presence be rare, not by being absent, but by being intentional. Be where you are fully, then leave without need. That absence will echo more than constant closeness ever could. Mystery isn't what you hide. It's what you carry that no one can steal. It's the wisdom in your gaze, the stillness in your walk, the peace that can't be disturbed. Let men wonder where you are, not because you disappeared, but because your soul can't be placed. That wandering turns into yearning, and yearning deepens into emotional attachment. A man doesn't stay for what's available. He stays for what's valuable, and mystery, when born from truth, becomes the most valuable thing he'll ever encounter in a world of noise. Don't give everything just because he asks. Give because it's earned, because it's right, because your intuition says yes. That discretion is not coldness, it's self-respect at the highest form. Jung said, your visions will become clear only when you look into your own heart. Be the woman who lives from her heart, not from her need to be understood. When your life is rich without him, he'll crave to be part of it, not as your source of joy, but as a witness to the joy you already live. The more you try to be loved, the more you lose your power. But when you rest in your own energy, love finds you, not to complete you, but to join you. He will chase you not because you ran, but because you walked in a direction he could not ignore. A direction guided by depth, by soul, by mystery. Be the woman who doesn't explain her worth, who doesn't reduce her passion or polish her wildness, who loves fully but never abandons herself in the process. Let your boundaries be soft yet firm. Let your love be open yet wise. Let your story be sacred, not a presentation. He'll feel it, and it will haunt him, not with confusion, but with clarity. The clarity that he touched something real. And in a world of performances, that realness becomes the most addictive experience he's ever had. Be the ocean, deep, vast, calm, sometimes stormy. A man will never tire of seeking what cannot be contained, only respected. That's what keeps him forever curious, forever chasing. And if he leaves, let him. Not everyone is meant to walk your depths. You don't need many, only one who sees you and still chooses to dive. The mystery isn't about keeping him guessing. It's about staying rooted in your truth. He'll chase not because you're hidden, but because your essence awakens something he never knew he needed. That is the feminine mystery. Not a game, not a tactic, but a return to soul, a return to self, a power no one can fake, and no man can forget. She becomes the story he tells himself when silence surrounds him. She becomes a melody in his memory, playing softly in the background of all future connections he makes. You do not need to fight for attention when your energy is unforgettable. Your essence alone, when authentic and whole, becomes enough to draw him into your emotional orbit. Each time he recalls your laugh or a glance you gave, he's pulled deeper, not into you but into the version of himself that only you ever made him feel. Your presence is not about control, it's about resonance. The echo of your depth lingers within him, not because you tried, but because you existed fully, unshaken by external need. He might try to move on, convince himself it wasn't real, but his soul remembers the way yours danced without asking permission to be seen or validated. This is not about being distant. It's about being true, a truth so unfiltered that it becomes uncomfortable for those who live through masks and polished performances. He may never understand why he keeps thinking of you, but he'll feel it, and that feeling, the ache of your absence, will be louder than the presence of others. Mystery doesn't mean never being known, it means never being fully consumed. You let him taste, feel, dream, but never completely hold. That is what leaves a mark A woman in her mystery is not just desired, she is revered. Reverence is rare. It's not earned through seduction. It's awakened through authenticity and emotional courage. Let him earn your emotional closeness. Let him journey into your soul's terrain like a sacred traveler, humbled by every truth you reveal and every truth you hold back. Men remember women who let them feel safe in discomfort, who showed them beauty in contradiction, who didn't need to prove worth but stood firm in it. He may think he needs closure, but what he really wants is another moment of you. Not because of your beauty, but because of the emotional mirror you unknowingly became. Live as though your spirit is the destination, not a detour. Let the men who enter your world feel the richness of a journey, not the certainty of an arrival. You are not meant to be understood in one meeting, one message, or one date. You are meant to unfold like a riddle with rhythm, not urgency. Keep something for yourself, not out of fear but out of reverence for your soul's depth. Let your love be a gift, not a transaction or a test. When you hold yourself like art, others will learn to approach with care. Some will stay, others won't, but your essence remains unshaken by their response. The feminine mystery is not something you create, it's something you return to. Beneath every layer of expectation lies the original, wild, wise, emotional, and free. Let him remember you by the silence you left, the tears you didn't explain, the power you didn't advertise, and the joy you didn't compromise. Never chase being unforgettable. Just live so deeply in your truth that your presence carves itself into time. That's what makes him chase, not you, but the feeling you embody. You are not the woman who waits to be chosen. You are the woman who chooses herself again and again. That decision radiates power no man can ignore. Be unapologetically soft where it matters, and fiercely grounded where it counts. That duality, that contrast, is the heartbeat of the mystery that draws him in forever. Let your life be bigger than the love you seek. Let your dreams stretch wider than any romance. That expansiveness makes space for love that's deep, not desperate. Be a chapter in his story that redefines the whole book. Be the mystery that deepens his understanding of what it means to truly feel and never pretend. Men chase mystery not because it hides, but because it reveals slowly. Each moment, each glance, each truth, one drop at a time until he's no longer in control. Let him feel out of control, not from games, but from the pure intensity of meeting someone who knows who she is and offers that without needing to be approved. You don't have to chase a man who feels your presence in your absence, who dreams of you not for your image, but for the emotions you awakened within him. That is the final mystery. You are the memory that lives in him louder than the woman standing beside him, and that he will never fully escape. You now understand, feminine mystery isn't in playing roles. It's in living your truth so deeply that no man can ever forget the echo you leave behind.